Hi, I'm Scott with Starkey Family, Fixing Rigging Up. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Now today, we're not going to do the whole entire door, but what we are going to do is we're going to take the inside panel off and see if we can figure out what's going on. But have you ever had a door that does this? Just will not latch? Well, guess what? I got one right now. So let's go ahead and get into it and see what we can take care of. Okay, so this right here is actually the pin that the door latch actually hooks onto. As you see, it's fine. So let me show you what the actual problem is here. Okay, so I'm going to take this door panel off, but I'm going to let you know ahead of time, I have not done this in several years, taking the door panel off. Last time was for a stereo system in the truck. So let's go ahead and start taking all the screws out. Now I am going to use a T25 socket, okay, but if you don't want to use that, you can use a T25 screwdriver. It's just a Torx, okay. Now also, when you're dealing with plastic, make sure on your drill, because you can break stuff, you have the adjustment set down, so you want it to click under pressure, okay? So let's go ahead and take the first one out, top one here. There are a bunch of screws that go all the way around here. The reason why you want it to click is you don't want to snap anything. But you do need to have it tightened up, I guess. Okay. Okay, so now let's go around and try to get all these without dropping them, like I just did one. I don't know why they decided to countersink some of these and not the others. But that's okay. We'll get it. Now what we're trying to do today is we're trying to diagnose what the problem is. Come on, get out of there. There we go. We'll just do it that way, right? Okay, so there's a couple here. Try it a little bit tougher here. That one just does not want to go. Let's try this one up here. Okay. Let's try getting them broke free here. Oh, geez. That was really in there. Ugh. There we go. Now we can probably get them out of there. There we go. Okay, so let's see what's next here. Let's go ahead and take this panel out. And all we're going to do is just reach in there with a screwdriver. Pop it loose. Okay. So we'll set that off to the side. Now, see this plastic in here? Try not to rip it up. you want that plastic. When it's winter time, this plastic helps keep cold air onto your vehicle. It also helps with dust, sound, a lot of other things. So let me see here. Yep, I've got some more screws here on the side. So let me get the caps off. Okay, so I took all these caps off. All it is just a little cap. You're going to take a screwdriver, pry up underneath of it, and then it just pops out. Now down inside there, you'll see that we have some screws. Well, you got a bunch of them up through here. So now let's go through and take all those screws out. Okay. I guess these are going to be a little bit stubborn. Ugh. Really stubborn. Okay, so we got those loose. Okay, so what you do is you pull this out. There's going to be a screw right here that goes in. This one right here, you unscrew that. And then this panel here is like this. You're going to pull the screws out of it. Okay. Now you see this little hole right here? Well, there's a stud that normally comes through the outside. Let me show you something here. Which one you want to actually get. Right here on your mirror, you see this bottom stud right here? That goes all the way through. Now, there'll be a cover on the outside of this mirror. As you see, mine is actually missing. It's because the last time that happened, the screw actually snapped off right there. Okay? But anyways, you're going to have to take that out or take a chance of it popping off. Then you're going to have to unscrew this right here. And then you'll be able to lift up on your door panel. Now make sure, as you see, I went ahead and pulled my speaker out. It just simply unplugs. Here's the plug for it. And then you got 4 little screws that I took out. You're going to use the same Torx. Now I'm going to leave off on this tonight, but we will start back on this tomorrow because it's starting to get dark on me. So I'm going to end the video for tonight. Okay, so I'm back here the next day because it was getting dark last night. So I went down and I had actually ordered this part. This right here is actually the new component, if you can see that. Now, I paid $62 for this. There are 4 screws that go in there that hold this on. And this lever back here, that's where the linkage inside of the door actually hooks onto. So basically what happens is, when you shut this with the pin in it, let me try to get this thing. Hold on a second here. Okay, so when you actually have this shut, what happens is when you go to unlock the door, the lever that hooks to this right here is going to pull this handle. And this is what happens. That's how it opens up. So let's go ahead and I'm going to show you down inside the door and let you get a feel of what that looks like. Okay, so basically what happens is right down there's the door handle, and then there's another one that comes around and connects to that also down there at the bottom. When you pull that handle, that's going to move this actual rod right here. And right here is the lever that you saw me push down on the new part. So basically all we need to do is pull out the bolts on the other side, or screws, whichever you want to call them, and we got to pop this linkage off, and just basically pop that arm on and screw the new linkage, or screw the new lock in place. Okay, so I smeared a little bit of electrical grease on this, and that should help this pop out. Come on. Okay, I'm gonna have to use both hands on this. Okay, with two hands I was able to actually get it. This is the old part that goes in there. It's like a little sleeve, just goes on a rod. And as you see, whoops, as you see, that rod has an end on it. It's just going to slip into that hole with this plastic piece. But we ended up getting a new one, so we're not worried about the old part. Okay, so now we're going to take this lock off, and this is a Torx head is a 30. There's one. There's two. This one here is kind of boogered up, so hopefully we don't have any problems. Good. Now keep in mind, I did spray this the other day with chain oil, so everything is well lubricated. If you're going to take this off, I suggest you spray these bolts also, or screws, or whatever you call them. Okay, and here it is, all nasty and everything. So let's go ahead and put the new one on there. Make sure you wipe everything off, like all the nasty. Okay. And keep in mind, these are left and right hand sided. They'll be marked with an L or an R. So this is the driver's side, left. The passenger is a right. So just to give you a heads up on that. Okay, start one end by hand. Good, grab the other ones here. Reason why I'm saying to start them in by hand, that way you don't thread them, or cross thread them. Okay, so now, this is important. You're going to take your ratchet, and that's how you're going to finish tightening them down. That way you don't break anything. You don't have to force these on super tight, just so that they're tight and they're not going to come loose. Last thing you want to do is break anything off. Okay. So that's what that's going to look like. Okay. So as you see, I just put the clip back on. It's just a hole and you just slide it around. No big deal. So now you're going to take this, bring it around. Make sure, I used electrical grease. I just smeared electrical grease on there. Just pop it on there. I'm gonna have to use 2 hands. But make sure you put some electrical grease on there. That way, 1, it's lubed to pop through that hole really good. And 2, they'll keep everything from wearing for a long time. Okay, so after you get it popped on, it's gonna look just like that. And that way it can't come off. So let's go ahead and start putting everything back together real quick. Okay, so it is getting a little bit dark on me again. Imagine that, right? But anyways, all we're doing now is just taking the door panel and we're putting it back together. I did go ahead and put the bolt in on the other side so we could line up the door panel. And I put a couple screws in. Right now we are working on putting the speaker back in. Okay, this is just a plug. Okay, there's that. Give me just a second here. I forgot one little part here. Okay. This speaker, it's got a backing plate. I forgot to put on there. There we go. And by the way, no, this is not a factory speaker. Oops. This is actually a pretty good brand speaker I've had for a long time in here. Worked really great. It's called Focal. There's that. We'll go ahead and put the cover on. Okay, so next, let's go ahead and put this sill on. That just simply pushes into a groove. That'll get this out of our way. Okay, so let's go up here. We're going to go put these screws back in place. Okay, there's that. Now let's work on the bottom ones here and the side of the door. Remember not to over tighten. And I will tell you, I want to show you this real quick. This right here is a tool that I use, and it's got 4 prongs on it. This is what I use to pull them out of the holes. When you can't get them, all you're going to do is just grab a hold of the head and the washer, when they're loose of course, just pull them straight out of the hole. This is a very, very, very handy tool. So if you don't have one, get one. They're only a few dollars. I'll put a description of one on Amazon for you in the comments, or in the description area, sorry. That way if you want to pick one up, this is one of them jobs where it's actually nice to have one of these. Now these just screw into these metal clips. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this panel in place here. You're just going to put this down in here, line it up, like so, and tap it into place. Very simple. Now we're just going to get the ones here on the end. But I think we're going to get some light here first. Okay, we are almost done. I actually forgot that one there actually shattered inside, so we can't do that one. And these two here actually shattered up there, but it's fine. We have enough screws and bolts in there to hold everything into place. Let's see here. That one looks tightened a little bit. Okay. Okay, we got everything in place now. Okay, now I did want to apologize because we're finishing up in the dark again, but it's time to see if it works. Door is shut. Simple as that. I'm Scott with Starkey Family, Fixing and Rigging Up. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you've learned something. I hope if this ever happens to you, you get to do this in total daylight, not at nighttime. But that's the way my life goes. I'm very busy. Don't forget to watch my other videos. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. You'll learn more. Now, it did take me a little bit longer because I'm trying to do photo shoots on this, but keep in mind, this is not a very difficult job at all. It really is not. This job here shouldn't take you more than maybe a half an hour at the very most. Okay, you really don't need anything special, just a couple of torque sockets, maybe a couple little screwdrivers and stuff like that. But overall, you don't have to have a drill. You can just use a normal torque driver if you want. I just use this for some speed. Just remember, on the tightening of it, make sure you don't have it fully tightened or you'll break everything. Anyways, you guys all have a good night and enjoy my other videos. Thank you.